Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com with another one of these front-end builds for the To-Do API, which actually I already have currently running because I had just wrapped up the Vue build. So this one's going to be in Svelte. So I'm going to build this one in Svelte. So let's get to it. Start a new project. So back in the main folder, npm init vitae because they have a Svelte template. We'll say to-do Svelte or Svelte to-do. You guys kind of know the drill with these. Svelte. Okay, and now we got the Svelte to-do project there. cd into there and do an npm run dev. I'll actually have to do an npm install first. And then I can do an npm run dev. Okay, maybe that's not the command. Package.json. npm run dev. Yeah, that's right. So, why don't you like it? Yes, load config. Error, not supported. Oh, I think it's my version of Node. So let's change that. nvm use system. Okay, good. Now I'm up to using 16.5. So let's try that again. npm run dev, and we're good. Okay. Localhost 5000. Is that what it said? Localhost 3000. Okay, so here's like the Svelte initial, and it's going to be the same drill as last time. Now the only thing with Svelte is there really isn't like a native router. There's a couple different routing libraries for Svelte. I'm going to opt out of using Svelte for this, or opt out of using routing. So kind of like Vue, I'm just gonna build it, use multiple components, but I'm gonna use conditional rendering to do that. Okay. Cool. Now let's go to source. Okay, and basically if you ever worked in a Svelte app, again, like Vue, where you basically have these one file components, but instead of ending in .vue, they end in .svelte. So here's app.svelte, and I am going to, and there's nothing really too different about using Svelte. It's just like writing normal JavaScript, which I absolutely adore about Svelte. So like here, I can just clean this out, easy peasy. I don't have to think about too hard about how I'm writing this. Very nice. Okay, cool. So first things first, let's declare some variables. Okay, not state, not reactive, is going to be the URL. Oh, not in there, should be in the script. Okay, const URL equals http / localhost 10,000 / to-dos. Okay, and let's see here. The things I'm going to want, stuff that is going to be state. And here you don't have to do anything special to declare state. Okay, they're just variables that are reassignables. So in this case, I'm going to kind of follow what I did for Vue. So I'm going to have like a show form false. We're going to have we are going to have a piece of state for the different like form elements. Okay, so let reminder equal an empty thing. Let completed. And again, our to-do API, there's two properties to a to-do: reminder, which is the text of what you're being reminded to do, and completed, which is like the boolean of whether you've completed it or not. And then of course there's an ID because we're using Mongo, so everything has an ID. Okay, other state that I'm going to want, we're eventually gonna have to do an update, so we're gonna have to have a selected to do, which will just be empty for now, so it'll just be an empty object for the moment. Okay. Which will just be, let me think about how I want to do that. Actually, I don't need that. And cool. Okay. Let's make a components folder. New folder. Components. Okay, and then I'm going to make a new file. Display component. Display.svelte. And I am going to make a form component. Form.svelte. Okay. And both of these I'm just going to put like script, a div, and I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to bother with the style tags. Okay. That's it. That's all you need to do. So that's good enough for me to be able to import them. So let me import these components so I can use them. So import display from /components/ display, and then let me import form from /components/ form. Very nice. So then over here, what I'll do is I'm gonna have the h1 that says Alex's to-do list. And then I'm gonna have the display component. Okay, and then we're going to have the form component, which the form component I'm gonna wrap between sort of conditional logic. So we're gonna say if show form, and if that is okay, so basically if show form is true, then we will render the form. Otherwise we will not. Okay, so that's how that's going to work. Nice. Okay. So we can start creating our functions like get to dos, update to dos, all that fun stuff. So what I am going to do is create the function that's going to get to dos. Actually, we also need state to hold the to dos. So let to dos equal an empty array here. Okay. And I'll say met functions here. So we're going to say const get to dos equals an async function. And that async function, what we're going to do with it is, of course, const response. You guys know the whole fetch boilerplate. Const response equals wait fetch URL. And then const data equals response.json. And then we're going to take the data back from our API and say to dos equals the data. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm not sure why it's complaining. It says type promise any. Oh, I didn't put the word await here. Wait. Okay. Now from Svelte we can import the on mount. So import. Let's put some empty curly brackets from Svelte, and I want to import. I think it's on mount. Yep, on mount. There we go. Okay. Life cycle. Okay, and then here we just put an on mount function, pass it an arrow function for what we want to do when the component loads. And all I want to do when the component loads is run get to dos. Yay. Okay, cool. So now that we got the to dos, I can pass them down as props to display. To dos equals to dos. Okay, that complains like that there isn't that prop there. So we're gonna head over to display, and to declare a prop, I just have to declare it. So that way you have to do export let to dos. The export is what makes it a prop. Okay, so now it should be no longer complaining over here. Good. It is not. And now over here I can begin rendering those to dos. Let ul. And then what I want to do is do a each statement. Okay, so for each to-dos as to do, that's going to be slash each here. Okay, so this block will repeat itself. Okay, and what I want for each to-dos, I want an li. And for each li, I want an h3 that says to-do.reminder. Okay, and we'll also just have whether it's been completed or not here. So we'll just have that as like to-do.completed. Okay. I should be seeing them by now. There we go. We are seeing them. Good. Okay. So I can see eat snacks, eat dinner, undefined. Oh, because it's to do. There we go. Null, false. Null. Interesting. Okay. So that's that. Okay, so those are rendering. The next thing is to do like a create form. Okay, and basically what we're going to do is in the form component, I'm going to pass down these three properties. Okay, for now, we're going to end up passing a whole bunch of props to it. So I might as well just break it down like this. So we're going to say reminder equals reminder, completed equals completed, and then underscore ID equals underscore ID. Okay, I want those initially, so let me just go declare those here. Export let reminder. Whoa, just heard the sound. Let me go check what it is. Okay, sorry about that. The wife ran into a pest that had to be dealt with, and it has been dealt with. Okay, so let's see here. Let's continue on. Export let completed. Export let underscore ID. Again, these are our props. Cool. Okay, let's create the form. Form. Okay, and again, it's going to have an input of type text and an input of type checkbox and an input of type submit. Okay, and then these will be bound to those props. So type text. Let's see here. So that would be how was remembering what the I think this is bind. Actually, is there a model? I forget if this. Bind value. Okay. Bind the value to reminder. Bind checked. binder, and that should do that job. Yeah, okay, so there's our form. Now back over here in app, we want to be able to toggle the form on and off. So we need a function to toggle to-dos. So const toggle form equals a function that basically what it does, it's going to say that show form equals not show form. Okay. And then we'll put a button that says create a to-do here. And then when you click on that button, it is going to have a event, which is going to be on click equals toggle to do toggle form. Okay. Interesting. Why does that show twice? Refresh. Okay. There we go. Now, let's see if it toggles the form. Yep. That works. Good. Nice. Okay. And next thing I want to do is make sure that there's a submit function. Okay. So in that case, we're going to have to do that action variable again, like I did for the view version. So let's let action, and by default, actions will equal create. And again, what I mean by the term of action is like, what is this thing doing? Okay, and we're going to pass action down to the form. Action equals action. And then I got to go bring that in. And then that's going to allow me to start defining the function here, which would be const handle submit, okay, equals, and which will receive the event. I'm pretty sure I can like automate the whole prevent default here, kind of like you can in Vue, but it's keeping me how, so I'm going to just do it the old-fashioned way, event.prevent default. Okay, so we're going to submit the form. And then when we submit the form, what we're going to do is we're just going to have the if action equals create, which will be one scenario. And then we'll have if action equals update as a separate action. And for now, I just want to check to see, make sure that this is going to work. Console.log hello create. So, and then that's going to be on the submit here. So it'll be like on submit. Okay, and then when we submit it, it equals, okay, handle submit. Okay, and let's see. I make the form visible. I want to hit submit. Let's open up the console so I can see the log. Okay, good. It's working. So far, so good. Okie dokie. So now what I'm going to want to do, go back to app. We're going to make the function to create a to-do. Const create to-dos. And you see, like, I'm following pretty much the same pattern, whether it's Angular, React, Vue, because it's pretty much the same app. So once you see me do one of these, it's like you're just kind of seeing me do the same thing, just with slightly different syntax as far as like the framework goes. And that's the thing about this. Like, what's important to understand is not necessarily like the framework. Like, you want to understand the framework because you want to know how to use it. But when it comes to building the app, it's thinking about like what are you trying to achieve in building the app? Like, what is the functionality? How do the pieces connect together? Because the framework doesn't necessarily always determine that. the app's going to pretty much work the same way regardless of which framework I use. So before I even think about frameworks, I think about sort of like what the thing I'm building is. Um, yeah. And how do I achieve the functionality? And once I have a clear idea of what the functionality is and sort of like how those pieces fit together, then I start thinking about sort of the more framework specific code and how to achieve that sort of what I have in my imagination through the framework. Create to-dos. It'll take in a to-do. Okay, and then with that to-do, it will do a fetch. So await fetch URL. And okay, await fetch URL. And in that case, it's going to be method post. This needs to be async. Thank you, error highlighting. Okay, method post. Headers, of course, we need the content type header so that way it knows we're sending over JSON. Okay, and then we send over the stringified body. Body JSON.stringify. And then we send over the to-do in question. Okay, create to-dos. I want to ship this, and then after that, fetch is done. What I want to do is get to-dos again. To update the DOM, but even before that, what I want to do is just change some of these variables. So it's going to be like let reminder once again equal an empty string. So we're emptying out the form. Let completed equal false again. Let ID. Well, we don't need to worry about ID here. Let show form equal false. Okay, so we just do kind of like a reset on the state while we're at it. And then what I want to do is, okay, let me just think about that. Let me just shift that into another function. That might just make my life a little bit easier here. Okay, so we'll just say const reset state equals, because I want to be doing pretty much the same thing in several of these other functions. And let me just add the ID part. Let ID equal an empty string. And, oh no, I'm declaring variables. That's not going to help. I need to change. There we go. Much better. Let, and then the last one I want to change back is action equal create. Okay, so that way, regardless, we kind of go back to its default state whenever I need to. So after I create to-dos, we just reset state. There we go. Okay, and that'll keep that a little bit more condensed. Okay, less typing for me. Yay, don't repeat myself. Cool, now I just need to pass this function down. So create, I'll just call it create. Create equals create to do. Okay, then I need to go over here to form and receive that create function. Export let create. Use that create function here. Create has an object with reminder and completed. Okay, and yeah. Okay, so I think I should be able to create stuff now. So I show the form. Let's refresh the page altogether. I can show the form. We'll just say eat breakfast. Let me just turn that off. Huh. Interesting. Why is it doing that? Input to reminder. Oh, I bound both of these to reminder. This should be to completed. Let's refresh. Okay, so eat breakfast. Then, okay, good. Now if I hit submit, and there it is. Eat breakfast equals false. Let's just do another one. Eat lunch. It works. Okay, cool. So now we just have to do the update functionality. But now we need to set it up that you can update the to-do. Okay. So, or select the to-do in a sense. Okay, so I'll do it the same way I did it in the view version of this. And essentially we need to create another function. We'll call it select to do to update, just to keep it semantic. And that should be declared const that will take a to do. Okay, and this will do the following. It will take reminder and make it equal this to do dot reminder. It will take completed and it'll equal the to do dot completed. It will take underscore ID and it'll equal to do dot underscore ID. And it will take the action, change this to update, and then it will take the show form and make it true. Okay. There we go. Save. Okay. And then I'm going to pass that down to display. So call the prop select, which equals select to do the update. Let's go back to the display. Receive that. Let select. Okay, and then what I want to do is make it when you click on this H3, on click, it is going to do select. Okay, so let's see here. So theoretically, I should be able to click on one of these, and the form pops up. But I don't see the information of that one, which theoretically I should see. Okay, which is telling me it's not necessarily updating when the props update. Let me think about how to best handle that. Because reminder change, I'm assuming. Let's take a look. Svelte DevTools. Let's refresh. There's app. There's the main tag. And there's my display component. So let's see here if I click on this. Now the form shows. And the form just has action. Okay, app. There's plenty of state. It did change the action, so we see that the action is update. But it didn't receive the other things. Let me just go see if these changed appropriately. So take a look at reminder, undefined, completed, undefined. Oh, I know why. Let's go back to display here. See, I'm not actually passing it to do. I need to do that. So I need to wrap this in an arrow function. So that way I can do this. And pass in the to do. So let's refresh and try this out. That's better. Okay. Good. Now, so that means all I really need is the update function, because that way I can pass this to do, which is why I had to make that change. So now I just need an update function to pass down. So const update to-dos equals, well, I'm just going to copy the create function here. That's bulk of the way where I need it to go. Async to do. Only difference is that now we want to add the ID at the end of the URL. So slash to do dot underscore ID. And again, I'm using underscore ID because we're using Mongo, and Mongo has the ID field as an underscore ID field. Okay, we're updating, so that's a put request. If you haven't seen the video where I built the API I'm using, then that's going to be in the video description, along with the other front end builds I built for the same API. Otherwise, that's all good. Okay, update to-dos. So let me ship that down. Update equals create or update to-dos. And then I go back to form. I receive that prop. Export. Let update. And now, again, if the action is update, we just say update reminder underscore ID completed. We just send the information down, and that's that. Okay, and this form is kind of all set. Let's refresh this page. Okay, so let's see here. I want to update eat snacks. I want it to be false. So hit submit. Still says no. I don't like that. What if I make this true though? Then it'll change. But if I change it to back to false, okay, good. That data looks good to me now. But it works. It updates. Yay. Okay, so that means we have our update functionality. So the only thing left, and we're doing this in record time compared to these other front end builds, just goes to show you like how intuitive and easy to use Svelte is. I love Svelte. It's very easy to work with. Cool. So all I have left to do is just create the delete function. And also I've done this now 4 times, so that also helps me get this done faster. To be fair. Okay, delete to-dos. Pretty much the same function again. Same, except now it's a delete request. And I don't need all this. Actually, I don't need, no, I do need that. I just don't need this. Okay. And then I'm going to send down to display. So now at this point, I'm going to just break this down a little bit so that way it's a little bit easier to read. Okie dokie. And basically what I want to do here is update equals, no, not update, delete. Although you can't really do that. We'll just say del or destroy. We'll just call it destroy. Equals delete to-dos. Okay, let's go over the display. And let's just receive that prop. Export let destroy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a delete button. Delete. And then we add a click event on that. On click. And when we click on that, it's going to run an arrow function that runs the destroy function, passing in the to do. Okay, and let me refresh. There we go. And let's see if it works. Eat snacks. Can I delete eat snacks? No, why not? Destroy is not a function. Huh, what did I pass in there? Delete to-dos. Oh, because I didn't spell destroy right. Destroy. There we go, now it's happy. Okay, let's try this again. Eat snacks. Gone. Bam, it works. There we go. We're able to create, read, update, delete. Wonderful. We've consumed the API in Svelte. I will put this code up, and you'll have the link to all the different code bases in the video descriptions to any of these videos. So that way, if you want to watch one of the other builds and one of the other frameworks, you can. But yeah, pretty cool. I'll see you guys all in the next video.